talk about MicroStrategy, right? Oh, respectfully. So, Michael Saylor.
Oh, you guys like it? You guys like MicroStrategy or no? Is there a consensus?
Here's the thing. I think that MicroStrategy is at least for now tied to Bitcoin's success, and I think Bitcoin is going to have a successful year. That's just my personal opinion. So I put an option call on MicroStrategy last week because it was down like 30%. Once again, not what you would recommend, highly unrecommendable in this whole scenario, but it's an interesting case study. So it was down 30%. So I'm like, I think this is a good buy. And then it went down another 20%. And so I was down 40% on my option call.
On the call. Okay.
Friday. And just learning math, like when I became a financial advisor, I realized that if you have like $100, right, and you drop to 50, that's a 50% loss, right? But it's going to take 100% gain to get back up to $100. Right, because a 50% gain on that only gets you to $75.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm down 40%. This is pretty heavy. And
so you want to know? Should you sell the call?
Well, no, I bought more.
Okay.
Oh, you
did. All right.
I doubled down on the call.
I didn't know you were gully like that.
Unadvisable.
Highly unadvisable. Highly unrecommendable.
Averaging down in options trades is, it takes a
Bitchin'.
special.
Well, I'm praying for you.
Well, no, so I got to finish the story. So now, and I gained 80% in 2 days. So now I'm up. I gained 80% in 1 day, actually. So now I'm up 10%. Highly unrecommendable, but I just had a feeling. It's just an eye test.
Yeah.
So, okay. Right.
Can we tell the truth about Michael one day? It won't be today, but Josh.
So we have a saying on Wall Street that if you don't know who you are, the stock market is a really expensive place to find out. Rashad, what little I know about you is that you have nerves of steel. I know you're an Iceman. I know you've not. It's not just that you cultivate that persona on social media. I know that is what you really are, and I know that from your friends who Rashad is different. Okay, most people can't do what you're doing.
Unrecommendable. Right. That's unrecommendable for sure.
Most people will lose their shit down 40%.
That's a fact.
So broadly speaking though, Mike, so I don't trade options. So I don't really have a comment on that strategy. Michael Saylor, I will tell anyone who wants to listen that I don't fully understand how these transactions work, or I understand how they work mechanically. I don't understand why they keep working. So effectively, what he's done, and it's brilliant. Whether I don't know where it ends, but like right now, it's brilliant. What he's effectively done is he's found a way for people to lay off their volatility risk on him in exchange for dollars. So Bitcoin is inherently volatile, and he's basically saying, I will eat that volatility, and in exchange for your capital, I'll pay you an interest rate. So he's got big institutions. These are sophisticated buyers buying the debt that his company is issuing. As of last week, I think they just launched a perpetual preferred, which is a class of stock. It's not common stock. It's got capped upside, but it pays a yield as though it's a bond. And it's perpetual, meaning there's no maturity date. So it just lives forever, publicly traded. You could buy or sell it in the secondary market. So he's found buyers for instruments tied to his Bitcoin treasury publicly traded security. And they keep buying it. And every time they buy more stock from him or more bonds from him, he gets capital. And of course it's dilutive what he's doing to the shareholders, but they don't care about the dilution because he's taking that money and plowing it into Bitcoin. Yeah. And I think he has 500,000 Bitcoin now. I think he has 450,000 Bitcoins.
Yeah. He just passed BlackRock.
Okay. So it's extraordinary because you do have a lot of institutions that are looking for yield from non-traditional sources. Well, this definitely qualifies as non-traditional. And then you have a lot of people who want to have leveraged exposure to Bitcoin in their brokerage accounts. Here's where I truly can tell you I don't know anything. My assumption was that when the ETFs came out a year ago, there would be no more demand for MicroStrategy stock because now you could just buy BlackRock or any one of 11 publicly traded spot Bitcoin ETFs in your brokerage account, you don't need to buy MicroStrategy anymore. You don't need that exposure coming from a corporation that's hoarding Bitcoin.
The volatility.
I could not have been more wrong in that assumption. Look at what the stock price has done over the last year. It's now in the S&P 500. So I don't know anything. So I'm like you. I'm reading the news. I'm trying to like mentally understand what's going on, and I'm talking to people. I'm listening to other people talk. As it pertains to most things Bitcoin, I'm a student, not a teacher. I'm not ashamed to say that out loud. I know a lot of people are, and I'm still learning. I don't fully understand why people are willing to pay a premium for the value of the Bitcoin that MicroStrategy owns, but they are. Most of these types of vehicles end up with the price being a discount. So I come from the 1900s. I don't know if you know that about me. That's how long I'm doing it. Okay. I'm from the 1900s. We used to sell closed-end bond funds to investors, and those traded at a discount to the NAV 99% of the time.
Yeah.
We used to sell municipal bond closed-end funds. They traded at a discount to the value of the bonds themselves.
What was the volatility? Because I think that's what he's selling his thing as, is that Bitcoin is an extremely volatile asset, which is good if you want outsized returns. And his thing is it tracks Bitcoin, but it's even more volatile.
No, I get that. I still don't understand why it's trading at a premium. So Grayscale had the first publicly traded Bitcoin trust vehicle, but so GBTC, other than MicroStrategy and Riot blockchains and Mara, there was like no other way for traditional financial people in a brokerage account to get Bitcoin exposure. So they bought Grayscale, which was trading at first at a huge premium to the value of the Bitcoins it held in the trust. And then as Coinbase became more popular and Robinhood started trading crypto, people didn't need Grayscale's product anymore. So they sold it down to its NAV, and then it kept on going. It dropped through the NAV. And then there was one point where it was a 30% discount, which is when the hedge funds bought it up. And then when they got approval to convert to an ETF, it shot right back up to par value, or right back up to NAV. That was a brilliant trade.
You tell me what NAV is really quick if they don't know.
Net asset value. So literally, Ian, if you tell me my publicly traded company holds $100 million worth of Bitcoin, if your stock were to trade at that NAV, it would have $100 million market cap, straight up. If it trades above that, it's a premium to the NAV. And if it trades below that, it's a discount to NAV. My point that I'm trying to make to you guys is that every product I've ever seen on Wall Street that looks like a closed-end fund where it just holds assets, but it has its own ticker symbol, every single one of them ends up trading at a discount to NAV. Somehow, MicroStrategy is at a massive 2 or 3x premium to its holdings. And I think that speaks to the army of people who just have so much belief in Michael Saylor's ability to continue to expand the strategy. And maybe they'll be right. I'm telling you, I'm a student, not a teacher, because I never would have seen that coming. And I still don't understand it to this day. So I'm fascinated by MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, and I'm following it every bit as closely as you guys are. I just don't have anything worth saying about its future price because I already don't get it.
So safe to say you're not recommending it to the portfolios.
No, I don't own any MicroStrategy, but I own the S&P, so I guess I do, right? Indirectly.
Partially, yes.